Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm back to this. We saw last time I was a bit flustered, I was a bit busy, the garage was a bit busy. Sultan and Rabjab, it's like babysitting 4-year-olds when they're here, so you don't get much done. Although Sultan was not bad yesterday, he was quite helpful with the tearing this down. I think I kind of made a mistake, but also I'm standing by it. I think if I'd put a battery direct in here and got rid of the leads, I think this probably would have fired up. I really do. I think it probably would have made noise. But I'm not happy in the fact that every other bolt you touch rounds or doesn't come out or breaks. I think it'd be so unfair to give this bike to someone because it's not serviceable. So I do stand by the decision that I'm going to tear it down and hope that the parts go to someone and helps them save their bikes. That's kind of where I'm standing at the moment. Examples are silly. Example like these bolts don't come out. I can't even get the rear light unit off. And then of course these ones are rounded. I am using JIS bits, so there's no excuse there. These bolts, no chance. I had to rip the front lights off. They actually broke. They weren't savable anyway. The radiator is not going to come off. There's absolutely no chance. Sultan did a great job getting some of the header bolts off. I mean, that is unbelievable. But if I can get them all off, headers sell, people need them, so that's good. So there's money here. The calipers are worth a small fortune if I keep them with the braided hoses attached to the lines. The last time I checked, you can get 100 quid for the calipers, the rear separately, like 100 quid there and 100 quid there, but it might have even gone up now. You know, I haven't looked since my last phaser, which was maybe 3 years ago. So there's money in here, and possibly close to the same money I would have got for firing this up. That excludes the engine. I have no doubt this is a high compression engine. I can hear it, I can feel it. The engine was high. If I had a battery here now, I'd shove it in and I'd try and do a compression test. But the electrics wouldn't let me. They wouldn't run for long enough for me to do anything really. You guys saw me cranking over for maybe up to 10 seconds max, and then it would all disappear, and I would check the fuses and I'd wiggle wires and it would come back for a second and then all disappear, and it was just ridiculous. So yeah, there it is. It's a no-go. I'm gonna try and do the brakes today. That's my task. I'm gonna get the brakes off. I want to get them pumping, clean them, and get them out there as a working pair of brakes, because I think that's really important, not just for people to use, but save them. They're popular calipers, these are. That's my task, brakes. So let's see if I can even get the bolts off holding them. I feel like they will. I'm going to overuse WD-40 today and hope. There you go. Straight away, another example. Top one came out. Put a little bit of WD in there, loosened it up, came out, and then the bottom one, spinning, turning, just won't budge, and there's a bit of WD in there as well. This is exactly what I mean on this bike. It just wouldn't have been fair. I mean, I'll kind of go down the route of cutting this off and everything eventually if I need to. I don't have an issue with that, but it just kind of goes to show you that it's just wrecked really. It's been sitting way too long. One trick you can use is you can use a bit of the cutting compound stuff for lapping valves in here. You might get enough grip just to make it work a little bit more, but it's a pain. It's a pain. And funny enough, the other side aren't 12s either. They're like 13s or 14s. So it's Frankenstein. One stuck bolt there. These bolts came out. Both these bolts, both sides have rounded. They're not going anywhere. These brackets will need to be cut. This little bolt did come out to loosen up the wiring. Radiator bolts rounded, won't come out. Will need to be ripped off. I mean, it's unbelievable actually. Right, clocks. I think the clocks go for a few pounds. Let me get some WD in there. Hopefully I can get them off. This caliper is, I'm just going to cake it in cleaner first, and it's probably all I do. I might pump the pistons out to clean them, But that's it really. If they're moving, I'm trying to think. I should pop these out and do it properly. I think I will. I think I'll pop these pads out, do it properly. I'll use these pads back in for sale, but I'll get them pistons moving and give them a clean and put them back in. Yeah. And then I'll work out how I'm going to get the last bolt off the other side. It's probably going to need to be cut. Even then, it's going to be a right pain. It's going to be WD-40 and waiting and whatever. So of course we can't get the lid off because the bolt's rounded. Why wouldn't they? Definitely using JIS before you JIS weirdos have a go at me. Where's the marking? It's annoying, it's rubbed off, but they're all JIS. And I tried an impact and neither worked. I'll put a slit in it now. A flathead might do it. Got to be careful when putting slits through because it does go down a touch onto the case, but I'd rather save it, it's an original, than let it go. So slit there, flathead should get that out. If you get a tiny bit of movement, more WD, try and get it down, and it will seep in. I know WD is not the best penetrative spray, but it's the only one I've got, so it's better than nothing, and that is the rule. It is better than nothing. If you ever have a bolt like this and you've got nothing else, get some WD in there, it will do something. Got one of these up. Look at the colour of the threads. I mean, like seriously, let me see if I can zoom in or focus. I mean, it's just bright, thick rust. This side's not doing anything at the moment. At that stage, I want to put a bit of WD down there, and I actually put it back in just to get it down into the system. So look, when I see something like that, I just spray WD in, and then I push it back down a touch, you know, get it down into the threads, and then the next person shouldn't have an issue. I mean, that's what someone should have done on the last one, you know, and we wouldn't be here where we are now. A little bit of grease, a little bit of WD, something. Alright guys, so both calipers are actually serviced now. I was just saying to Sultan, who's gracing me with his presence, he's got a couple of days off, so I have to babysit.
Hey, look at my wall injury. This is from the hazards of what's it called again? The garage.
Actually, I'm going to sue you about touching my CB engine.
I'm going to sue you.
That's not one big bleeding scratch. That's blood running down it, right?
No, the scratch is from here, from there to there. That's
inch and a half. That's impressive. I mean, someone who's got that many tattoos can't complain about scratches.
This is actual skin being like cut. A tattoo is like any.
Well, that's what happens when you step over an engine and miss it and scratch your leg.
Too busy looking for a 13 mil socket.
What I was saying to Sultan was, even though I've given these calipers a service, if this was a functioning normal everyday bike now, I would put them back on and I would use them. But for sale, I would be telling the new owners to put in new brake pads and give them a service. So I'll be selling them as functioning brakes because they are. But to cover myself, I'll be telling them that I'm not going to say I've serviced them, I would say that they should service them. So they're now functioning and everyday brakes, but I will be telling the new owners to put new brake pads in and give them a service. I hope that makes sense. It does make sense, of course it does. I'm going to pull all them off now. I'm just going to check online and see what the pricing's with. I just got a reply from NGK, I told you already, and they've said again that there are hardly any fake spark plugs in the UK.
Funny enough, Louis Vuitton said the same thing when they were asked about the Louis Vuitton bags and the Gucci bags in Camden Market.
And then they said, yes, of course we want to protect our reputation, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm really shocked. I just don't get it. The original company saying they bought them directly from NGK. And NGK are saying, yeah, they're probably real spark plugs and it snapped. It sounds like you've got a defective one. Send it back through the company you bought it with. So am I going to send back an £8 snapped spark plug to get one refund? The other 3 are in the bike. Hand tight. I was only using them to see if it fired up. Hand tight. Like it's all just
Corporate bollocks.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Big blow in this exhaust, but annoyingly I really like the sound. So I think I'm going to go backwards. I think I'm going to go back to the other pipe. The Rabjab left me his Scorpion, but I can't stand it. The Black Widow, I can't stand it. I want the little SP. I did tell him that he can borrow it and trial it this week. I didn't tell him he could keep it. I think I'm going to have to go back to that. But the link pipe they gave me isn't the right one. So I'm going to have to buy a link pipe, and Delcafitch do one with a resonator in the middle, nowhere near as big as that. So I think I'm going to get that. It's 80 quid when I can. It's going to be in a couple of months, I'm sure. Right, let me get this phaser out. Let's see what we can do with the rear caliper, and let's have a look at the engine exhaust studs. So this caliper could be a lifesaver. I've given it a clean. It's actually functioning. You can't find them online anywhere. They're rare. It's got to be 100 quid or more for that rear caliper. I've had 2 people ask me for it already, so I'll just message them and I'll see what they're willing to pay. There's no reference at all anywhere online of recent for a price of one of these things working. And I don't want to hit people hard. I want to sort people out, so I'm thinking 80 to 100 quid. Yeah, and then I'm in 2 minds as to whether I should send it with its master cylinder functioning or whether I just break it loose. I think I'll ask the 2 people have messaged me about it. I'll ask them.